Hello, my dear friends and students. Well, this is our last class in our series. Again, this is Bob Anderson. I am the International Director of Education for Global International Schools, and we have been reviewing the 26 divine qualities from the Bhagavad Gita. Today, we'll be reviewing the last three of those 26, and this class will be finished. As usual, before every class, we will do a short meditation. I would like everyone to sit quietly, calmly, comfortably. I hope you're in a place that is not too noisy or busy. And put your feet on the ground, on the floor, or cross-legged, whatever is comfortable. Make sure your spine is straight but not rigid, and your neck and head are in alignment with your spine. Again, not rigid, but just in a relaxed sort of way. Make sure your shoulders are loose, your hips, legs, and arms are loose and relaxed. Now I want you to put your right hand on top of your left, palms up, and just gently set them in your lap. Very relaxed pose. Now, we'll close the eyes and we'll meditate for 5 minutes, and I will bring us out of meditation. All right, now close the eyes. Gently, gently put the attention on the breathing. Let thoughts come and go. Let noises come and go. Simply do not pay attention to them. Simply just pay attention to your breathing. Not concentration, not a lot of effort, just gently. Close the eyes and begin. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now open your eyes slowly. It was easy. I hope so. It should be very simple, very effortless. Just a gentle shifting of attention when the thought captivates our attention, when we are able to think the thought, oh, put my attention on the breathing, just gently shift it back to the breathing. This effortless moving back and forth between thoughts or sounds and attention on the breathing without heavy concentration. This is meditation. It is not effortful, it is effortless. And at the end of the day, when we settle down into our own essential nature, it is the ultimate in simplicity. It's the ultimate in peace. So let us remember each day, 10 to 15 minutes in the morning, in the afternoon, in a place that's not real busy or whatever, with maybe some curtains closed so there's not a lot of extra sensory input, and just sit quietly and do this simple practice for 10 to 15 minutes twice a day. Now, the next of the divine qualities that we're going to be reviewing is cleanliness. Cleanliness of body, purity of mind, is respect for the indwelling divine spirit. It's also very healthy. If we're dirty and we're, we don't take care of ourselves, then there's bacteria that comes in, and if we don't brush our teeth, we have decay, and these things are natural processes. But if we keep ourselves clean, these processes do not destroy the body. Over time, yes, we will age, but if we take care of it, it's just like an automobile. The more we take care of it, the longer it lasts and the better that it runs. It's been said that cleanliness is next to godliness. I happen to agree with that. It might sound like a cliche, but it is true. A person who is neat and cleaned, well-groomed, with hair combed, teeth brushed, face and hands washed, neat clothing, doesn't have to be, it could be just a little shirt and shorts or something, but neat and clean. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just so you look orderly, because as we are outside, so this reflects our inner nature. If we're chaotic and filthy outside, that does not bode well for what's going on inside. On waking in the morning, it is best to cleanse the body and the mouth before meditation and starting your day. This also has an added benefit that you're more awake. If we try to jump out of bed and meditate, for example, we become so relaxed so quickly and we never truly woke up. We might just fall back to sleep. But if we take a shower, wash face and hands, brush our teeth, then when we sit down to meditate, we'll be more alert and we'll be able to maintain that awareness at those deeper levels of mind until we expand our consciousness to the full depth and breadth of the mind, which is, in its final analysis, infinite. Because individual mind is simply a mirror piece of cosmic mind, which is throughout the entire universe. And we are that, as seen through a certain small angle of view, like a hologram. A hologram is a three-dimensional image of something. But if you break it, like a piece of glass with a hologram, and you pick up one piece, That one piece has the entire picture, but seen from the angle of view of that particular piece where it was in the glass hologram. Similarly, we are the entire universe, but as seen through the lens of this body and this mind. But essentially, within ourselves, we are that universal mind. We are that universal consciousness. We can tap into that and use it to our advantage. One who is physically clean and also rid of mental taints of uncontrollable desires and restless thoughts invites the Lord to manifest in the purified temple of your life. This is also true. We are physically clean and we are also mentally clean. We are mentally orderly, with good thoughts, not evil thoughts or ones of uncontrollable desires or just restless thoughts that keep bouncing around in our head. This is another reason that we meditate, is it calms down the restlessness of the mind and of the body. And the more relaxed and at peace we are, the more that the infinite being from within us shines through our thoughts, through our actions. When the mind is calm, it becomes a divine altar for the presence of God. The calm mind is the clean mind, the mind like a pond without a ripple. This might sound a little flowery, but it is very true. With a calm mind, that divine light that is within us shines through that calm mind and out into the world through our actions, through our speech. This is what is meant by this statement. It becomes the divine altar for the presence of God, that ultimate calmness, that ultimate peace shines through us, through our life to the world. Non-hatred, adora. A person who feels malice toward others loses the potential to see God in all. That's because we are building these false images in our minds based on our emotions, unfulfilled desires, frustrations. We project those faults that are within ourselves onto others. What we're doing is we're seeing a mirror of ourselves in others, our shortcomings. Because if we did not have something within us already, we would never be able to see it in others. We say they are ignorant or they're not righteous or they did this wrong. Well, know this, you could never see it if it were not already within you. As that old saying goes, let us take the log out of our own eye before we try and pull the mote or the little piece out of our brother's eye. A person aspiring to realize their own inner divine nature will not blind their vision by thoughts or acts of dislike or treachery, even against sinners or his self-proclaimed enemies. If we want to flower, if we want to grow and to expand to a greater level of understanding, awareness, and peace, we cannot blind ourselves by thoughts or acts of dislike or treachery or evil against anyone, whether we call them a sinner or an enemy. These are simply words that we have adopted to display our own shortcomings projected onto others. as we have said before, there are people in life who come into our lives that are not good for us, that are grating or upsetting. We don't have to talk bad about them. We don't have to be angry at them. Just absent yourself. Go somewhere else. Because we don't want to pollute our own minds and hearts with anger, with dislike or hatred. That binds us into this delusion and illusion of non-reality that we have constructed for ourselves throughout this life. To be free from this delusion, we must let go of all of these shoulds and oughts and do's and don'ts. Take care of your own house and let your brothers and sisters take care of their houses. If you can't be comfortable with them, then simply move on. He strives to perceive in them the presence of the all-redeeming and all-loving God. Everyone, everything in this world, animal, vegetable, mineral, space, time, is all the divine in motion. There's two parts of God. One is the ever-changing, the other is the never-changing. All of this is the divine play, Leela, the dance. But we forget ourselves by being so involved in the dance of creation, of going, seeing, learning, doing, that it overwhelms our sense of self. It overwhelms our awareness, and we become a slave to our emotions, to our desires, to the sensory experiences of this world. Let things pass through effortlessly. Let go. And once we are in the flow of life and observe it just as events that are passing in front of the screen of our awareness, we will be free from the entanglement of our true self being overshadowed by these events. That true self, that awareness will shine forth, be totally present, regardless of what's going on outside. And that awareness cannot have thoughts of hatred or evil or whatever, because it is pure. And as such, once that is realized, our mind and our actions become pure as well. We mirror in our thoughts and actions that which has been realized within ourselves. As the Lord is free from hatred, he shuts out no one from the boundless sphere of tenderness and omnipresence and compassion and love. There is no seam to be found in the sphere of tenderness of God's love and compassion and tenderness. It is omnipresent. It is within us. It is without us, outside, inside. There is no difference. When we realize this, not only do we recognize our own divine nature, but we recognize that in everything and everyone around us. So be free from these thoughts that bind us. Recognize that silent awareness, that observer within us. Pay attention to yourself and allow the sense experiences and impressions to pass through. Enjoy them or be sad about them for the moment while they're there, but don't hold on. Allow them to flow out as they have flown in. Similarly, one who is aware of the divine in all creation cannot detest any man or feel any sense of disdainful superiority. When we say we detest something or hate something or we feel superior to something, what we have done is we have separated ourselves into fragmentary pieces. And a fragmentary piece can never see beyond its own limitations. It dwells in that fragmentation, in suffering and in darkness. The way to eliminate that from our life is to look within to that indwelling divine nature, which is whole and not fragmented. Then go into daily life and live that wholeness through all of your actions, all of your thoughts, all of your deeds. We become one with all of creation instead of simply a fragmented little piece. We become that divine self by realizing it. That is what we truly are, and not what we have perceived ourselves to be based on what we have been told or based on an experience. These are simply passing events before the screen of that divine omnipresent awareness. Be with that and be free. Lack of conceit. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that one. I would mess that up so badly. Those of you who are Sanskrit scholars, good luck. Lack of conceit signifies an absence of excessive pride. Pride is a very tough thing to let go of. The ego self wants to continually reinforce itself in its superiority, in its brilliance, in its strength. And all that is doing is blinding us to our true nature. We have an absence of this when we have realized more and more of our inner divine nature. The Lord does not harbor pride. Through his cosmic possessions and powers are infinite, though they're infinite. God doesn't feel pride. He doesn't get up in the morning and say, boy, am I really cool, look what I did. No. The divine simply expresses itself like a flower. Automatically, the fragrance is there as the flower blooms and unfolds. The same is true of creation itself. It is not an act of pride. It's not an act of will. It's simply an act of flowering spontaneously because of the nature of the divine, the nature of the cosmos. There is no pride. It is free from that. It is a happening. It is spontaneous. That's what we strive to achieve. Never think yourself great or wonderful if you do a good thing or a great thing. Never feel yourself downtrodden or lowly because you could not do something or you don't have something that someone else has. This is all illusion. It is all the illusion of mind being overwhelmed by thoughts which are transient, that have come upon us, that are not part of us. In humble concealment, the Lord secretly works for man's salvation through the propelling power of virtuous actions. Now, here is where these 26 divine qualities come more into focus. When we are humble, when we act out of humility, not out of from some preconceived idea or from some sense of, I'm going to get something for this, like people will think I'm wonderful or I'll get some more power or whatever. God doesn't work like that. Things simply appear spontaneously. And as we align ourselves with that power, that spontaneous power of unfolding, which we are just as creation is, and we enhance that unfolding through virtuous actions by trying to embody these divine qualities to the best of our ability throughout our daily lives and actions. Don't worry if you fail. Don't worry if you stumble. If you're not failing and stumbling, you're not working. Treat everything as a learning experience, but be constant in your awareness of these qualities, for they will lift you up out of the quagmire of delusion and suffering. So conscious action and meditation together both are necessary for us to achieve our maximum potential in life. The old saying goes, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. For a person may feel vain and self-satisfied, falsely assuming that he is what he knows. Isn't that an interesting statement? A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So we read a few books, so we can spout a few lines from scriptures. Does that mean anything? No, it does not. Until we are living those words in our daily life, it's like packing a bunch of books on our back around with us. They just weigh us down. And a person then feels smug in their knowledge, falsely assuming they are what they know. And this is delusion. This is delusion. We are not what we know. What we know, what we have learned, is simply a tool to survive in this world. It is not what we are. Never, ever assume because you know something or you know a lot of things that this makes you any better. And if you don't know it, makes you any worse than anyone else. We are not what we know. We are not what we don't know. We are that infinite divine self. That is what we are here in this world to understand, to realize, not to gather books in our head, not to gather wealth, not to gather possessions. All of these at the end of the day are stripped away. Nothing comes with us when we leave this world. Only the echoes of our actions that reverberate through the universe. Let us make sure that what we send out into creation is life-sustaining, life-supporting, loving, caring, compassionate, and that will return to us tenfold. There is a proverb that pride goeth before the fall. A self-admiring person is apt to refrain from further effort. He falls into the pit of inertia. That is so true. A prideful person, I guarantee you, sooner or later will fall, because that is a false identity. It is not real. It is a delusion. A self-admiring person is setting themselves up for great suffering and mental anguish. I know this for a fact because I've gone through it. I know it. I've learned from that. Never, ever feel like I'm beautiful or I'm wealthy or I'm knowledgeable. That makes me better. No, it does not. It simply allows you to survive in this world. It is not something to identify with. all of these things. The body grows old and decays. Wealth comes and goes. Possessions come and go. Where is the stability there? What is there to be prideful of? What is there to be conceited about when, as it comes, it will go? And the more that we hold on to something, the greater we suffer. The more prideful we feel, that is holding on. When it is torn away, whatever it is that we feel prideful about, we generate our own suffering. Don't let us set ourselves up to suffer in life. There is no greatness, there is no lowliness, there's only life. Live it as best you can. Imbibe the qualities of these 26 qualities from the Bhagavad Gita. And therefore we will live a happier life, a more peaceful life. Well, I believe that is the last of our divine qualities. It is not enough simply to know them. That won't do anything. It's like packing more books on your back. But we must try and practice them, to live them in our daily life. When we do that, we find out our life smooths out. This does not mean we won't have challenges to overcome, but we will have the tools and the attitude to overcome them. Your life becomes a divine song, like the Bhagavad Gita. So I would like to leave you with this. Take just a few of these divine qualities each day. Practice a couple of them. Pick them out. Read over them. And then try to practice them for this day in your life. Then pick another couple. Don't try to do all 26 at once. It's a great idea, but somewhat difficult to do. If you focus in on a couple each day or a week, then it becomes more real, more focused, and our life improves. So with that, my dear friends, I will leave you and end this class. I hope it's been of value to you. I hope you've got something out of it. I certainly enjoyed giving the class, and be kind to each other, and may God bless you all.